Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, Nvidia, MSTY, SMCI, and PLTY. But first, before we begin, let's just check out some pre-market action. Obviously, by the time you're watching this video, things are going to change, but this is just to be a quick reference to the video in case there's any eye openers, anything out of the ordinary. And this is as of 5:10 a.m. Tesla is up 0.5%. They're at 343.87. TSLY is up 0.77%. They're at $9.16. Nvidia is down 0.41%. They're at 135.01. Nvidia is down 0.18%. They're at 1690. Coin is up 1.06%. They're at 266.97. CONY heads, where we at? We're up 1.26%. They're at 887. MSTR, they're up 0.39%, 415.01. MSTY Mafia, you're up 0.51%, 2371. TSLY, degenerates out there that, all of us that play options on it. Yeah, we up 1.09%, 1490. TNA, cause I'm TNA, I'm dynamite. All right, so they're down 0.77%. They're at 3077. Bitcoin is down 0.23%, 105,000. Good Lord. Man, Bitcoin's blowing up. All right, BitX is down 0.57%, 5445. Suxel is down 1.66%, 1776. SMCI is up 1.03%, 4525. SMCY is up 1.71%, 2143. Palantir is up 0.01%. 0.07%, if I could talk. It's at 126.42. And PLTY, I finally remembered. It's PLTY. You guys are up 0.38% and 70.78. And I forgot to call Nvidia, you Nvidia nerds, all right? Because you're a bunch of chip nerds, right? So anyway, that's the names. That's the pre-market. That's the fun. Let's get to it. So nothing really crazy there that's going to help us for the video. So let's just get to the spreadsheets. The good old spreadsheets. So who had trades yesterday, right? Who do you think had trades? TSLY had trades. Only 4. That's easy. We can handle that. Who else that we cover? Let's see. MSTY, only 3 trades. Hallelujah. 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 Came home late, really late from baseball last night. I downloaded the trades, and that's exactly what I did. Holla freaking Luya. If there was a lot of trades, I was going to cry straight up. All right, SMCY had trades. PLTY had trades. And ULTI still has a lot of trades. Oh, boy. LFGY, still a lot of trades. Oh, my goodness. All right, so anyway, let's go to MSTY. Because, again, we start with MSTY. Because after all, we are the MSTY Mafia, most of us, right? Some of us are not. So some of us are, they're like, all right, enough about the stupid MSTY. But we still start with MSTY. So hang in there, guys, if you don't like MSTY. All right, what did they do? Buy, call, sell, put, sell, call. All right, so what the hell does that mean? Well, they added to the synthetic. What's synthetic? The 390. All right, 390. And it cost them, some money, but whatever, right? Adding to the synthetic. And what did they do with the money? Well, they sold a call. They sold a call with a 435 strike price. And it shows it's 5.22% out of the money. I believe the 435 was a pre-existing strike price. So they kind of just added to that existing strike price. All right. So now let's go to the MSTY files and let's have a chit chat. All right. What's going on here? All right. So we got the synthetic 390. All right. What's it doing? Well, we added to it, right? We haven't added to it since May 5th. So now we added 1,000 contracts. And by the way, I did do a somewhat of a deeper dive into the spreadsheet on yesterday's video. I know some people, they did appreciate that. It's for the newer viewers. So if you're newer to the channel and you missed it, go check out yesterday's video. It's called the Monday Recap. I'll pin it to the comments. Hopefully I remember. But yeah, and like on occasion, maybe on the Monday Recap, I'll start to just doing a little more detailed dive for the newer viewers if that's what you guys want. All right, so here's the 1,000 contracts that they added. Great, wonderful. Now we have 83,015 contracts on this synthetic position, which is 390. That expires on June 20th, 32 days away. All right. 420, again, your favorite holiday. They did not add anything to this since May 15th, which is fine, whatever. This also expires June 20th, 32 days away. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the weeklies tab. This is where all the magic happens, right? Guys, I'm thinking about, you know how I track the price on a daily? I'm thinking about tracking like the IV on a daily just to see like how it moves. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Is that relevant? Does that matter? Or do we just care what the current 30-day IV is? All right, so how did MSTR do yesterday? Well, if we zoom in, we could probably see, right? So MSTR, they went up. Okay, pretty big update, 3.41%. You know, that's a bit much, right? We don't want nothing too crazy, right? We want up, but not too much up. MSTY, they captured 3.06% of that. So, yeah, that's okay. All right, not bad, not bad. We'll take it. But, you know, we kind of, now it's got to chill, right? Now it's got to chill out a little bit. So, and then they added, here's the 1,000 contracts that they added, in case you're wondering. They got a 390 credit for that sucker, 435 strike price. I get 5.22% out of the money. One thing I don't really talk about either is break even. What is the break even? Well, think about it, right? So they're going to close, well, this expires Friday as a 435 strike price, all right? So the idea is if it closes below, if MSTR closes below 435, this is going to be like, cost like a penny to close. So that's a win. That's obviously a win. But if it goes like, say, to 436, and they have to cover that gap, the dollar, right? To, you know, in order to roll it to next week, close it out and roll, you know, create an order for next week, that'll cost them $1 per share. Is that a win? Yes, it is. Why is it a win? Well, because they got $3.90 per share when they opened it. So anything less than $3.90 debit, right? That's a win. And to get an idea of what the number is, the break even is 438.90. So that's what we need to really, really, really be under. Ideally, we want to be under the 435, but being under the 438.90 is a win. And of course, this is under the assumption that, you know, it's expiring. They're leaving it alone until it expires, until like 3:59 p.m. on the Friday, right? Because we know all the time value is bye-bye. All right, again, hopefully that makes sense. I just wanted to explain that because I never talk about the break even. Another thing I really never talk about is the yields, but you know, this transaction yielded about 86% that we're showing. I don't even know if I've corrected the annualized yield to be accurate like my options spreadsheet, but I will. I know I keep saying that, but I will. All right, so outstanding shares, big increase, 1.5 million additional outstanding shares, which is actually chump change for the fund, but that's an increase of 0.91%. All right, so what else? Recap at the top. Actually, I'll start with the prices. MSTY is at 23.59. MSTR is at 413.42. Great. 30-day IV, 65%. Outstanding shares, 171,750,000. Total net income, unfortunately, yes, still a loss of 11.2 mil, so we will stop it right there. All right, moving on, we're at the MSTR funds tab. This is where we track, you know, the various competition. Again, is this a good spot for it? Who the hell knows? But you guys let me know. I kind of go, you know, I make a lot of decisions based on feedback, by the way, so feel free to leave feedback on how this video is presented. Bitcoin, again, I got the price at the top. It says 105,308. Not sure how, you know, live that is. Obviously, Market Watch was live. But anyway, yesterday was the 19th. Yesterday, they bought more Bitcoin. Well, yesterday, right? 519, yep. They bought 7,390 freaking Bitcoin. MSTR now has 576,230 Bitcoin. Freaking nuts. All right, now let's look at the change of MSTR price. Again, it's going to reflect on the 17th because Google Sheets, it goes back like to the Saturday. I don't know why it does it, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. But anyway, we said MSTR went up 3.41%. MSTY captured 3.06%, right? That's good. That's good. What did Winter do? Winter went down 1.81%. Well, you know, it could be worse. It could be worse, again, because they're shorting it, right? They're shorting MSTR. IMST, do you believe this? IMST captured 4.08%. It beat the freaking underlying. IMST showing up on a Monday. Look at you, baby. All right, we'll see how that keeps going. MST continues to not be updated, which is awesome, isn't it? Isn't it a wonderful thing? But hey, whatever, whatever. But when it updates, it'll go back, like it'll go upwards, and it should update history, and then at that time I will go back and see like what days, what kind of days it did win. But anyway, for now it's just basically Misty versus IMST, and IMST took the crown yesterday. How about that? How about that? All right, let's keep going. Reaction. I had nothing to really put except the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin. Everyone likes the Bitcoin, right? Anyway, Group D declares in 15 days on June 4th. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We got this. Come on, we got this. All right. Synthetic income. All right. Bank, bro. Bank. Nah, not really. Good enough, though. 63.7 mil. All right, let's deduct out those weekly losses, which is 11 mil. That's a total net income of 52.5 mil. That comes to about 31 cents per share. All right, we're getting there. Moving on up. All right, what do we got for the Rotomator? We can't use it, unfortunately, because, again, the weeklies aren't making money. But if we look at the IV, it went up, 2% from yesterday, from what I remember? I don't know. My memory's no good anyway. But we're looking at $1.19 based on the IV, which is, hey, $1.19. Can't go wrong. All right, so we actually didn't cover this on the when we went over the weeklies. I forgot. Well, whoopsie-doo. Sorry about that. But we'll cover it now. Here we go. So how we doing? All right, how we doing? We're doing all right. What do we got? We got scatter-doo. That's for sure, right? What they added to yesterday. They added to the 435. All right, that's fine. So, again, MSTR went up yesterday. So, the lowest strike is almost in the money. Danger! So, it's 0.38% out of the money. So, what do we want to happen? What do we want to happen? I mean, everyone wants something different. But, again, I want maximum gains out of my Misty. I want maximum freaking upside. So, I honestly don't want MSTR to go up anymore. I just want it to chill. Stay volatile, and just chill. Go up, down, and stay right below 415. Wonderful for the week. All right, so anyway, the lowest strike is 415. The highest strike is 442.50. The gap is, the lowest is 0.38% out of the money, and the highest is 7.03% out of the money. And they did buy one little call, one little butt buddy on the bottom, just chilling on the 470. I'm 13% out of the money. I'm here to help you. All right, so that's just there if they need it. We'll see. We'll see if it helps. All right, let's talk about the put at the top. The put. All right, what do we got? We got a 390. Okay. And we got a 420. All right, how's that doing? Again, MSTR is at what? 413. They're doing all right. They expire June 20th anyway, so let's move on from that conversation. And guess what, guys? We're back. We're back in the $4 billion club. I mean, that's a small club. So, and it's a good club to be in, right? I wish I was in that club. But anyway, Misty, congratulations. $4 billion. All right. So anyway, the NAV is $23.57. Trade price $23.59. 2 cents off. All right. Synthetic bailout. What do we got? Well, it's worth about $1.17 on paper per share. Okay, wonderful. Whatever. Synthetic contracts, they total 97,715. Total contracts that they're selling calls on, all of them, 100% of them. And then total credit call spreads of those sold calls, 10%, 10,425. All right? Sound good? Great. So that's the holdings for Misty. And now we could talk about their competition a little. What do we got? Well, we got IMST again. How did they beat the underlying? Well, let's see. They have a synthetic 410. Again, that kind of just mimics the movement of the underlying. Wonderful. Now, what about they're selling calls? Let's look at the expiration date of these calls. Zoom in a little bit. They got a 450 that goes way out to June 20th. So that's interesting. And then they got two 523s, a 420 and a 430. And then they got a 530, a 430, and a 435. Now, this is getting a little interesting. All right. Now, this is scatter-doo on the strikes, and it's scatter-doo on the dates. So they're changing things up. They're moving things around. I kind of like it. But let's see what it looks like over here. I don't have the dates in range. I wish I had the dates visible to me. You know what? Here, let's do this. Freeze column. I'm going to have to do that. All right. So we'll do that. That way we can actually see. All right. So let's just look at for this Friday's 523. They have a 420 and a 430. 1%, 1 to 4% out of the money. At least they're still out of the money. Okay. Then what about next week? You got to think about next week now because they have next week calls already. 430, 435, 4 and 5% out of the money. Okay, all right. Now they have what? A 620, 450 strike price. That's 8% out of the money. To be honest, 8% out of the money is not enough for a 1 month out. But again, we'll see how things go. You know, why did they capture more upside? Probably because their calls are much further out in dates and price, so they're a little further out of the money. So we'll see how they perform over time. Again, we're tracking it. We're here to do that. MST, I know I got all this freaking data in, and we talked about that in yesterday's video, though. Their holdings are just growing. Should we cry? I may cry. Should I cry? Maybe. Anyway, no. All their options expire this week, so I don't need to freeze nothing. All right, what are they doing? Buying calls in green. Okay, so they're buying calls that expire May 23rd. They expire this Friday, and they're selling calls. All right. Again, no synthetic, but they got swappity-doo-dah. All right, they got swappity-doo-dah at the top, which is supposed to, represent the movement in the underlying, right? That's what they say. We got to talk about that, though, with the experts. We got to talk about that with Mr. J, Mr. Scott. We got to get them on again when there's time, all right? And I will. Trust me, I will. All right, so, again, they're selling call. These all expire Friday. They got a 410 that's in the money. That's unfortunate. They got a 415 that's barely out of the money. And then even the others are barely out of the money. The highest one is 430, 4% out of the money. But we'll see how it goes, man. Again, just another interesting MSTR fund. We'll see how it performs. I think the idea of this fund is to capture more of the upside of MSTR and not pay as much premium, say, as, like Misty. But I don't know, man. I really don't. We'll see how it goes. And they pay weekly. I think they pay this week. So that's something else I got to keep track of now since it's on my freaking spreadsheet. But we'll see. We'll see how things go, guys. All right, so that's the coverage on your boy Misty, all right? Everyone loved Misty. Now let's move on. The poor TSLY people have been waiting. We're here, guys. We're here. We made it. Let's go. All right, what'd they do? Buy to close. All right, purple alert. Buy to close put. Why are they closing puts here? Bro, what are you doing? Closing puts, selling calls. Closing puts, selling calls. They closed at 270. What does that mean? That means freaking bank, bro. They made 205 mil selling that call at the top. $78 per share. And they rolled that sucker to 340. And guess what, guys? This thing expired in freaking July, and they still did that. Wow. All right. But that's good, though, because now the 340, it expires again. What, 2 months away? A little less, but still. Let it be, let it be, let it be. But anyway, let's go to the file. All right, loading. Here we go. All right, how did Tesla do yesterday? How did Tesla do? Elon, how'd you do? They went down 2.31%. TSLY went down 1.65%. So that is a wonderful day for T to the S to the L to the Y. All right, let's look at synthetics here. Let me get a sip of water though. Hold on, quick break. I wonder if a commercial popped up then, right? Does YouTube do commercials on my water breaks? Let me know. Anyway, what do we got? They got a 320 and they got a 340. All right, so now that's kind of in line where the price is at, right? They made bank on that other synthetic. Yeah. All right, so now they're chilling here. They both expire July 18th. So you know what? We're done talking about them. We can move on. All right. So they're selling calls here. Let's see how they're doing. All right, perfect fit. I love it. All right, so they got 5 strike prices. All right, just look at the blue. All right, we don't need to worry about the green. That's just our insurance. It's just there, right? It's like our hidden security. Like, don't mess with us. We got back, son. All right, anyway, in blue, what do we got? We got scattered 5 strikes. The lowest strike, 362.50. That's 5.97% out of the money. The highest strike is 372.50. That's 8.89% out of the money. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8% out of the money. So we'll see how that hangs in, how the rest of the week goes and how they hang in there. But we'll see. The value of the TSLY fund is still over $1 billion. In fact, it's 1.1 billion. The NAV is 906, trade price 909. Synthetic bailout, is it worth anything? Well, only 19 cents. But let's take a look at this stuff. 30-day IV, 59%. Have to say, man, Tesla IV has been pretty decent. I always say they have unappreciated IV, but finally, maybe there's some appreciation in the world. All right, the IV estimate based on that would be a whopping 42-cent payment. However, the income estimate since the last declaration, or actually the last week before that, I don't know, whatever, week of declaration, right? They made $1.36 per share. So obviously, that's a lot of money, right? Imagine if they paid that. Should we do that? That would be actually that's a cool addition, I think. Actually, I didn't even think about that. So if we take this, and then you multiply it, this is just for fun, of course. 13 payments a year. And then you divide it by what? The price, right? I'm going to use the price, not the NAV, the closing price, which is 909. And then hit enter. Or return, whatever. Did that work? All right, so that is, now I got to format it. Give me a sec here, guys. We'll get there. Number format. And then we go here and we click percent. And now we're good. So look at that beauty. Look at that. Wait, let me align it. There you go. So look at that income estimate. Is that pretty? It's so pretty. But yeah. I mean, they're not paying $1.36. I mean, they might. But if they did, as of today, that's 194% yield. Woo-wee. Anyway, Group A declares when? On June 11th, 22 days away. Now, unfortunately, I got to add that to every freaking sheet. All right. Anyway, let's talk about Nvidia. Did they have trades? What are you doing? Go back. Did they have trades? No. Nope. Neither did the CONY heads. What did you do to my CONY? All right. So SMCY is the next one that has trades. All right. That's fine. That works out for us. Okay. We got this, guys. We got this. For real. All right, let's go down here. All right, 1 day movement. How did Nvidia do? They went up a whopping 0.13%, and Nvidia beat it. It went up 0.53%. So good job, Nvidia. You did it. The Nvidia nerds won. Good job. Anyway, what do we got here? We got puts. All right, this is their synthetic. It's at a 110, a 120. Freaking making bank on paper right now. Good job. They expire July 18th though, so let's move on from that. Now let's look at the calls though. That's why we're here. How we doing? We got 4 strike prices, a 139, a 140, 141, 142, 2, 3, and 4% out of the money. All right. So the highest is 4.74% out of the money. The lowest is 2.53% out of the money. Is it going to hold up? We don't know. We really don't freaking know. But so far, so good. The value of the Nvidia fund is 1.5 billion. The NAV is 1692. The trade price 1693, penny off, great. Now, remember we said we're making a bank on paper. That bank comes to 273. Isn't that awesome? 273 on paper per share. But let's again, anything can happen until then. The heck was that? Anyway, 30-day IV, 50.4%. Where we at? IV estimate based on that, 66 cents, which is not enough. It's not enough. This heater is killing me today. Ooh, it's hot. Trying to move it back. All right, so here, they have an income estimate. They have a decent one of 132. So let me go back. Let me steal my formula. Let's see if it lines up, though. That's the problem. So if we copy that. All right, good. Certainly. Oh, did it work? Where is it picking up? All right, so if you double click it, right, it'll show you where it's picking up. Obviously, it picks up the 132, and then it'll pick up. There you go. Perfect. So we hit the check mark, close that sucker up. So the income estimate on Nvidia is $1.32, which is a 101% yield if they paid that today. Group B declares when, though? Oh, my God. Tomorrow, we will know tomorrow. It's only a day away. No, for real though, they'll announce tomorrow morning at 6:55-ish a.m. Of course, during my premiere, and then you'll know if you watch actually my video on the premiere. The people that are in that, they know like at the flip of a dime. They'll post it like right away. Boom, 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 boom. So that's one way to find out. Or you could just wait for the email or whatever, wherever they post it. Or you can go to I have a Discord. Obviously, people post it there. So feel free to join if you're bored. Anyway, coin. Okay. All right. Break time. Water break. Commercial time. All right. I'm good. Here we go. Let's go, baby. Coin went down 0.94%. Okay, that's fine. Bring it. Don't sing it. Bring it. CONY didn't even freaking move. CONY heads, you did good, man. You did good. You and your freaking cone, man, you dominated yesterday. All right, good job. All right, now how about their synthetic? They got a what? A 250. Coin is at 263. Great. Awesome. It expires when? June 20th. What's today's? May 20th? 1 month away? Exactly. All right, so far so good. Great. We like that. Ooh, I like that. All right, so let's see. What are they doing? Well, remember, CONY heads, they're only selling calls. They got no butt buddies. They got no insurance. You know, they got no backup. They got no credit call spreads, you know? All right, you okay with that? Well, we'll see. They got what, though? They got 6 strike prices, right? 6. The lowest is 265, and now it's 0.38% out of the money. So it's getting what? Tie. And then the highest strike price is 287.50. That is 8.91% out of the money. So we'll see how things go, though. I'll try to give you guys an update on the X today at noon. If I forget, please feel free to remind me. All right. Now, what do we got? We got this. The value of the freaking fund is what? 1.1 bill. The NAV is 878. Trade price 876. Now, the synthetic bailout on paper is worth about 50 cents per share. Okay, that's great. 30-day IV, 64%. That's for coin, right? And the IV estimate based on that is 44 cents. All right, but the income estimate's a little higher, it being 51 cents. What's the yield? Hold on. All right, 75%. All right, is it grabbing the right field? Let's see. It says what does it say? I-32. Yeah, we'll take that. I-32. All right. So yeah, 75%. That's still pretty freaking good, man. I mean, 51 cents don't seem like a lot, but a 75% yield is a lot. Anyway, deck date for CONY, declaration date, is not this week. It is next week, and that's 8 days away on May 28th. So we look forward to that. All right, up next, your boy, your other boy, your degenerate friend, Mr. SimC himself. But let's go to the trades and see, what did they do? What did SimC do? SimC did a lot of things here. So let's try to make sense of it. All right, they spread, this stuff out. There's a sell call at the top, and there's a buy to close call at the bottom. All right, so they closed what, the 51, and did they? Yeah, so they buy to close. All right, so there's a forced closure. All right, so there's a buy to close put in purple at the top, selling the call. So they got rid of 36 synthetic position. 1,100 contracts, and then they closed on the bottom a call. So it means people probably sold out of the fund. All right, so let's skip out of that. But let's look at this big stuff in the middle. What is this? All right, buy to close put, and then they sold the call for the 36. They made $40 freaking million. All right. In fact, yesterday's trades actually made $36 million net, which is really, really good for us. S to the M to the C to the Y. But the one thing that I caught, which is kind of weird, and you'll see it on the holdings, is look how many, okay, buy to close put, all right? So that's closing the synthetic, 40,136 contracts, all right? But they're selling the call side of the put, not the put, oh my God, the call side of this freaking synthetic, and it's 40,186. That was the total number of contracts. So they sold all the contracts on the call, but they closed 50 less on the put side. Again, maybe just a little small error, which really, to be honest, doesn't really matter. But I just thought it was interesting and kind of confused me at first. I'm like, what the hell is this? Because again, remember they updated the prospectus, I believe, on most of the funds. So now I'm trying to keep my eyes open. Ooh, what are they going to do? This is creative. But I think this is just a screw up, to be honest. And it really doesn't matter. But anyway, they opened a new synthetic. Where is it? Buy, call, shell, put. $45. All right, that's 45. That's at the money. So that's great. Expiration date, it's still June 20th, though. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's go to the file. Here we go. SMCI, they went down. They had a rough day. They have a lot of rough days. They went down 3.04%. SMCY, you know what they said? They said, bring it on, son. They only went down 1.85%. So, poo-wee. Now check this out. There it is. There's the 50. Just chilling. All right, see that 50? Tomorrow, guess what? Bye. All right, your favorite song. I actually like that song. I'm not afraid to admit it. Anyway, and for real though, here's the buy call. 40,136 contracts on what? The 45 strike. And then here, 40,136 on the put side. So there's 50 put, right? This is going bye. All right. It should be gone tomorrow. That's my guess. Unless they're, they don't want this. Because the put does what? Does nothing. Just brings us down if they go down. But again, a little typo error, little button push, wrong button. It's okay, SimCI Fund Manager. It's not a big deal. We forgive you, okay? We forgive you. All right, so let's look at the calls. They got two. Wow, a whopping two. A 49 and a 51. But look at the gap now. 9 and 13% out of the money. That's good. Great spot to be in. All right, what's the value of SimCI? I mean, still chump change, 181 mil. The NAV is 21.20 and the trade price is 21.07. That's like 13-cent difference. Damn. All right, let's look at the synthetic bailout money. It's only worth 9 cents per share. Well, that doesn't help. 30-day IV of SMCI. That's good. Yeah, I call that SMCI and SimC. All right, SMCI is 83%. IV estimate based on that, $1.35. Income estimate, holy, $5.44. You know what I gotta do? Are you freaking kidding me? Holy crap. Can you So for real, this is just the income estimate. This is the recognized income, you know, in between deck days. And again, they still got 15 days, but this just shows you how much bank they made, bro. Of course, assuming my numbers are accurate. Who the hell knows about that? But right now, 544 income estimate is a 335% yield. But again, they're not paying that. So just don't get your hopes up, please. Group D declares when? June 4th in 15 days. Okay? All right. All right, up next, your boy P to the L to the T to the Y. P to the L to the T to the Y. All right, Palantir, how'd they do? Oh, wait, we got to go. They got trades. I'm going, I promise. All right, here we go. What are they doing? Buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call. Boring. Anyway, so they added to their synthetic, which synthetic, they got a 115. All right, that's fine. Great. It expires July 18th. Even better. And they're selling calls. They sold a 131 strike, 3.7% out of the money, buying a call. Little insurance here, little insurance here and there at 138. All right, we'll see how this plays out. This expires for Friday. Okay, we'll go back to our favorite spreadsheet. This is Palantir and PLTY. Palantir went down yesterday. Down on the floor. All right, 2.53%. PLTY went down 1.97%. All right, so PLTY beat the underlying. So take that. All right. Anyway, they have a synthetic. Obviously, they have a synthetic. Yeah, 115. What's Palantir at? 126. It expires July 18th, but you know what? Awesome spot to be in. All right, here's the positions. All right, let's try to fit this all on one screen. Perfect. All right, 5 strike prices. Where do we stand? All right, 4 freaking trading days. Holiday weekend coming up. Let's win. All right, let's see. Here we go. 131 is the lowest strike price. 136 is the highest strike price. 131 is 3.7% out of the money. 136 is 7.65% out of the money. So they're 3, 5, 6, 6, and 7% out of the money. So far, so good. All right, so far, so good, you PLTY posse, you. All right, so let's see the value of the fund. Holy moly. $403 million. The NAV is 70 freaking 48. The closing price is 70 freaking 51. Again, this fund is just nuts. It's nuts. All right, the synthetic total value on paper, $6.83. I mean, we can't handle any more. We can't handle any more wins. The 30-day IV is 56%. We like that. I wish it was a little higher. IV estimate based on that is 308. So is that where you're getting tomorrow? I think you're getting more. And guess what? See this income estimate? I mean, all right, let's do it. All right, let me place you on hold. All right, so what did we do? We took the income estimate. We multiplied that 1422 times 13 as if they would pay that throughout the whole year, which obviously they're not. They're not even going to pay it this time. But if they did, and then we divided that by the current price, that is a 262% yield, which is pretty freaking fun. Awesome and fun. Anyway, Group E, PLTY, they'll declare tomorrow morning, guys. 1 day away. All right, you guys know, most of you probably know what my guesstimate was, but who cares? You'll get the real number tomorrow. You'll get it tomorrow. All right, and then you'll know. Cool. But yeah, we'll see what they pay. I think my guesstimate, it was 6 something. I can't remember, but I'll post it today on X. I'll post the numbers, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Anyway, that's the update on the YieldMax funds. And now I'm going to move on to my options trades. For those of you that don't give a damn about my options trades and you're clicking off, I just want to say before you click off, thank you for watching. Enjoy your day. Don't work too hard. All right. It's only Tuesday, man. We got a long week ahead. So hang in there. All right. Let's go to the options plays. Let's see what this degenerate options trader did. All right, again, this is just a picture of the indexes. One day, someday far away, I will be trading all 3. all the time because they are triple leverage and they are the index. So they are safe and volatile. Well, safe, quote unquote, right? But anyway, I love it. And I just, I love looking at these little indexes. But right now, I only trade TNA because I'm a broke ass and I can only afford the $31 one. All right. Obviously, the broke losers hang out over here and then the rich folk hang out over here. I'll be over here soon. All right. I'll get there. I promise. I'll try. All right. Anyway, let's move on. So what do I got? What kind of trades do I got? Well, I got a Misty put. All right. That's just hanging out. It's hanging out till 5:30. So no need to talk about that. All right. TSLL. Tesla was down yesterday, right? The market was kind of down yesterday. It said, oh my God, Moody was not nice. They downgraded us because we suck and we're in debt, right? So, whatever, that's nothing new. So we took the dip and we said, you know what? Dippity-doo-dah, dippity-day. Keep on freaking dipping. What a wonderful day. So TSLL, what did I do? I sold a put. Obviously, I sold a put. $15 strike price. This one, though, it's in the money. What, intonation? What you doing? It was in the money. I said, you know what? I said this, I think, last week. I plan on doing at least one DGen play a week, at least, on each fund now that we're getting finally a recovery. So I sold a put in the money, 3.45% in the money. The current price at the time was $14.74. As of the close, I'm only 1.76% in the money, so that's good. The delta of that was 0.55, so obviously higher than the 0.2 that I've been striving for. But it did pay me $1.05 per share or $105. And if I annualize that sucker, that's 441%. All right, so that's the put. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to sell a call because Tesla could dip the next day. I don't know. So I'm just going to sell a call. This one, I'm going to go a little safer, though, right? Because I don't want to get assigned. I'm trying not to get assigned. So this one, at the time, TSLL was at $14.55. I sold a call at 17, 16.84% out of the money. Again, this is 1 week, 1 week expiration. So you figure that's safe, but you never know. The delta on that was under 20. It's 0.18. The premium per share is actually the same, 0.18, which paid me about $18. And that on an annualized basis was about 77%. All right. So those are the two trades I made yesterday. Again, $105 and $18. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Sorry about that, but not holding it in for the video. No way. Anyway, TSLL, what else is going on up there? Well, there's a lot going on. Again, I got calls going. I got puts going. The two other puts I got going are 13 and 14. So right now, my three puts for the week, 13, 14, and $15. So if TSLL goes under all three of these strike prices, I would have to buy them, right? If I let them get assigned. So the idea is, okay, if TSLL stays above all three, then they'll expire worthless. Now the calls, again, I got calls everywhere. I got a 10. I got two 10s, actually. I got a 12, a 14, a 15, and a 17. So to be honest, whatever the hell TSLL does, I don't really freaking care anymore because I'm making money every single damn way. And this wheel is going to be bank, bro, at the end. Wait till we see the numbers. Anyway, so for this week already, we're making what? $123 on TSLL. I love it. I love it. And again, so share-wise, originally I got assigned 1,000 total. 200 got called away. So I'm at 800 shares of TSLL at this very moment. That's how many shares I actually own. And then you see up here how many shares am I selling calls on. There's two at the 10, right? Let's see the yeah, so there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 contracts. I have 200 shares without covered calls. Will I sell calls today? If Tesla's green, yes, abso-freaking-lutely, I'll sell another call. And if it's green in the next day, I'll sell another call. And that's how it works. Simple. It's not really nothing crazy. All right, TNA. Let's take a look at them. What did I do? TNA was also down a little yesterday. I think not as much as TSLL from what I remember. So I sold a put. Shocker, right? I sold the put, $29 strike price. This was a little safer than my TSLY play. It was 4.54% out of the money because at the time, TNA was at 38. And that was a delta of 0.25. So again, a little above the 0.2 that I'm used to, going at 0.25. And that paid me about 38 cents per share, or, $38 times 100 shares with an annualized yield of 82%. So I'll take that. All right. So, and then I sold a call. Why? Why the hell not? Again, we don't know. Is the market going to keep going down? I don't care. Whatever. All right, I sold a call, $33 strike price, 7.18% out of the money. This is for 1 week. Again, it's an index, but a triple leverage index. We'll see how that plays out. The delta was under 0.2, it was at 0.15. The premium was actually the same. It paid me 15 cents per share, or $15 with a 30% annualized yield. Again, more conservative yield for a more conservative play. So I only have one call on TNA, but I have 4 puts now. What kind of puts? Let's see. Where the hell my strike go? Oh, maybe I only have... I don't know why that's zeroed out, that line. Maybe I was going to do a put. Sorry, I got to sneeze again. I got to double check my holdings, but maybe I only have 3 puts. Let's just assume I do. I have a 27, a 28, and now a 29. So we'll see how all that plays out for the week. All right, let's go down here. So total puts assigned for this wheel, 700. 300 got called away, so I am sitting at 400 shares. For this week, I have made $53. All right, so weekly total at this very moment, we go to the 2025 income. I'm at $176, which is not bad for a Monday. So I will take it. Again, I'll confirm this confusion tomorrow for tomorrow's video, but I'm not sure how I got a blank line. Again, sometimes I start to enter a trade and I'm like, ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there for me. So then I stop. So that's probably what happened. All right, guys. That is officially the end of the video. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you. For real. We're probably at 50 minutes? Maybe? Who knows? But you made it. You're awesome. This is awesome. All right. So, as always, this is not freaking financial advice. I am not a freaking financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we'll try again tomorrow. For real. I definitely will try harder tomorrow to entertain you if you were not entertained today. But you have to let me know. I don't know if you're entertained. How the hell do I know? I'm talking to myself in a freaking garage, right? Neighbors think I'm loony if they see me, right? Anyway, what else? If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button, right? That'll help. That'll help the channel. That'll tell YouTuber, the YouTube land, that this channel is awesome, right? I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Who the frick knows? If you have any questions or concerns, though, leave it in the comments below. Couple things. I've been active on X, so go check me out on X. My handle, I guess they call it the handle, right? Retire on dividend without the D, okay? What else? I have a Discord. Yeah, it's free. Yeah, feel free to join. But if you do join for real, I will not direct message you. No one will. None of the mods, not me. It's all freaking spam. Even freaking Twitter, man. There's people making my accounts pretending to be me. I give up. Like, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? I don't know. It's just relentless. These spammers, they are freaking relentless. All right. Anyway, guys, I think that's it. That's the end of the video. So if you're new to the channel, we have keywords. So if you made it this far in the video you want to prove it, you gotta say the freaking keyword. What is the keyword? Seriously, what is the keyword? I don't know. How about this? Since I have my indexes up, my triple leverage degenerate plays, if you were an options trader, or if you are an options trader, which would be your favorite index to trade on? The TNA is 3X Russell 2000. Their implied volatility is 57%. UPRO, They are 3x S&P. Their implied volatility, 45%. TQQQ, 3x NASDAQ. Their implied volatility, 57%. So remember, the higher the implied volatility, typically the higher the premium you can get from trading options. So if you were to be an options trader, or if you are an options trader, which index is your favorite? That is the key word. A little something different, right? A little something different. Make you think a little. Which one would you be more comfortable trading day in and day out without worrying? I personally trade TNA because I'm TNA. But again, that's because I'm Brizoke, right? I'm Brizoke, and this one's only 31 bucks. 31 bucks, right? Times 100 shares. You know, that's a little more affordable than 71 bucks or 82 bucks times 100 shares, right? Right. All right. Okay. Anyway, so, but ignoring the amount of money you have, which one would you prefer to trade? You know, I always default to UPRO because the S&P, safer. Safest bet, right? 500 companies. Yeah. But you guys let me know. I don't know. We'll just have fun. Pick one, anyone, all right? All right, that's it. That's all I got. I'm done yip yapping. I'm gonna load this hopefully on time, and then I'm gonna go to work. Sound good? Great. So I just want to say, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. For real. All right? So anyway, I'm out. Peace.